what is your daily lifestyle? You go to school at a fixed time, isn't it? Then in the school, you have a fixed time for lunch break, isn't it? What about the periods? The periods are of fixed duration. So, for example, one period is of 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, that period will be over and next period will start because the timings have been decided already. And then what about the holidays? All the holidays have already been mentioned in the school diary, and according to the holidays mentioned in the school diary, you take a break from school, isn't it? So all these are already fixed in our lives. So whether it is going to school or holidays mentioned in the school diary or duration of each period or the lunch break, everything is fixed. So these rules keep everything organized and managed. So all these are fixed. So there is a fixed rule for all these things. And what do these rules do? These rules keep everything organized and managed. Without rules, everything will become haphazard. So how will everything become haphazard? What exactly will happen? Say for example, if you don't have a fixed time to go to school, what exactly will happen? It will be very flexible and comfortable for everybody, you may think. Not really. Let's see what will happen if we don't have these rules. So if there is no fixed time of coming and going to school, what will happen? Well, students will come and go at will, which will disturb classes. So for example, the class already started at 8 a.m. and students are still entering the class when it is 9 a.m. So what exactly is happening? The class is getting disturbed, teacher is not able to teach properly, and students are missing lessons. So everything is very haphazard and chaotic. Now, what if there is no fixed time for lunch break? Well, no defined lunch break would mean confusion and inconvenience for all. Why? Because see, the class is already going on and some of the students felt hungry and they started having their lunch because there is no fixed lunch break. And what is happening exactly? Well, the class is getting disturbed again and these students are missing their lessons. So again, there is confusion and inconvenience for all. Now, if there are no fixed periods, so without a fixed duration, some periods will be too long and some may be too short. So the teacher doesn't realize that she has been teaching for a very long time and teacher for the next period is already waiting for her to finish her class because there is no fixed time, and this will again be very confusing for the students. So entire situation is very chaotic. And without fixed holidays, what will happen? Well, without fixed holidays, students will miss classes and learning will be affected, isn't it? So if you don't have any fixed holidays, you may take a break any day, and if the class is going on that day, what will happen? You will miss those lessons, isn't it? So if there is no fixed holiday, so the school is already running and you are taking a break, so education is getting affected. So there has to be fixed holidays so that when there are holidays, there are no classes, so none of the students miss any lesson. So it's very important that we have fixed holidays. So all these rules are very important. If we don't have these rules, then everything will be very haphazard and chaotic. So you see, every school has rules such that each student learns discipline and gets proper education. So all these rules, which may seem a bit constraining, are very important because these rules help students learn discipline and get proper education. So rules are important, and not only in school. whether it is an office, a bank, or a hospital. There are rules everywhere. So every place has rules for proper functioning, and because of these rules, these places are able to function properly. So everything will be unorganized and very confusing, and work will not progress properly. So rules are very important at all the places. Now, a school has students, and to manage the students, we have so many rules. But what about a country? A country has so many people. So even a country requires a large amount of rules to manage different affairs of the country, isn't it? So what is a constitution? Well, a constitution is a system of rules and regulations according to which a country should run. So every democratic country has its own constitution, and in that constitution all the different rules and regulations are mentioned according to which the country will run. So the country and the government can work for the welfare of the citizens. Now, all the different democratic countries have their own constitution. So this is the constitution of the USA. This is the constitution of Canada. This is the constitution of South Africa. And this is the constitution of Australia. So all these are different documents which define set of rules and regulations which help in running the affairs of the country. So constitution is a very important document for a country. Now, similar to all these different constitutions which you saw, India also has its own constitution, the Constitution of India. So the Constitution of India is its highest law. All Indian citizens abide by it. So Constitution of India is the highest law of the country, and according to the Constitution, different laws are made and amended. Now, India was not always one single unit. India was ruled by different rulers. So you can see on this map, all these are different territories. So all these different areas of India were ruled by different rulers. So the entire country wasn't a single unit. It was divided into a number of smaller units which were ruled by different rulers. It was not a single entity or a single country, India, which we call today. So when in 1947 India got its independence and it was unified, then a constituent assembly was also formed. There were men and women from different backgrounds and professions in the constituent assembly. So constituent assembly had men and women from different backgrounds and different professions. Why was it done? Well, it was done so that all the different sections of the society can get proper representation in the constituent assembly, because constituent assembly had the responsibility of making or forming the Constitution of India. So in order to form the Constitution of India, which takes care of all the different sections of the society, men and women from different backgrounds and professions were chosen to be part of the Constituent Assembly. And this entire assembly was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the principal architect of the Constitution of India. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar headed this Constituent Assembly, and he was the principal architect of the Constitution of India. Now, they discussed each word, each line, and each part of the laws that they formed. So there was a very rigorous discussion on all the different laws and all the different topics which they covered in the Constitution, so that welfare of each and every citizen of India can be taken into account. So they discussed these things in details. And that's why it took them 3 years to form the constitution. So they discussed each and every word, each and every line, each and every law which was mentioned in the constitution, and because of that it took them 3 years to form the constitution, so that it could be comprehensive and it catered to the needs of every citizen of the country. So the Constitution of India was put into action on 26th January 1950. Now, why was 26th of January chosen as the date for putting the Constitution of India into action? Why not any other date? There is a reason behind it. During the freedom struggle in the year 1930, it was decided that every year 26th January will be observed as Independence Day. So during the freedom struggle, they had decided that 26th of January will be celebrated as Independence Day. But India got its independence on 15th of August 1947. So they decided that the Constitution of India will be put into action on 26th of January. And that is why Constitution of India was put into action on 26th of January 1950. So the Constitution of India was put into action on 26th January 1947, 26th January 1950, 15th August 1947, 15th August 1950. Which is the correct answer? What do you think? Well, the answer is 26th January 1950. So on 26th January 1950, the Constitution of India was put into action. And that is why we celebrate the Republic Day on 26th January every year. So Republic Day is celebrated on 26th January in India because our Constitution was put into action on 26th of January 1950. So the Constitution of India was formed by the Constituent Assembly and it came into effect from 26th January 1950. So this document came into effect from 26th January 1950 and it contains all the important rules and regulations which define our country, India.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at deltastep.com to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests, performance analysis along with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You also get amazing prizes like PlayStations, iPads, watches and many more, along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So at deltastep.com, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.